is holy now. Wow, what was the difference between everything being maybe sometimes holy and everything is holy now? What was the difference? Experience. Shift of what? Thinking. Thank you. Shift in your thinking. Say it out. Say it out loud. You can talk like that. It's okay. If somebody's arguing with you, you just say, it's just a shift in your thinking. It's necessary. That's all. Our most important study in unity is the study of our own mind, but not just the intellectual mind. It has to be the spiritual mind as well. That's a quote from Charles Fillmore from his book, Keep a True Lent. And I feel that that's so important because that's where the shift takes place, right? In your thinking. The shift takes place when you, thank you, Jack, in your experience. So your thinking has guided your experience, not the outside world. We're too addicted, let's say, to allowing what we see going on out there, what we think is going on out there, to guide what our experience is, to dictate what we're experiencing. Our thinking dictates what we are experiencing, always. It's always our perception of it. And that song's a perfect example of what happens when your mind is focused on the divine. Everything becomes holy, a holy experience. It's either love or a call for love. It's either an ecstatic, exciting experience of God, or it's a growth experience to another step to where everything will be more holy in my sight. Everything is holy already. It's just my sight that is not seeing it that way. The key to growth is the introduction of higher dimensions of consciousness into our awareness. Now, you may think that's some new age mumbo-jumbo that some guy is teaching in one of these books that he wrote to make some money, right? No, it's Lao Tzu. He was around like 3,000 years ago, before Jesus, before any of these guys, we had Lao Tzu. Here's like one of the first really enlightened teachers. And the thing about what he was saying is it holds true today. So truth holds true over the span of time because it always works. It always has a real effect. So introducing higher dimensions of consciousness into our awareness changes our experience. Wow, everything is holy now. Wow, what happened? I must have changed my thinking. And it does seem dramatic. Sometimes it is a miracle because I'm fighting against it. I'm fighting against a new way of thinking. I want to hold on to my old thought system. We hold on to it so tightly that we make ourselves ill, that we give ourselves conflict, that we get ourselves all stressed out. Jack called me one day and says, "How you doing?" I said, "I'm too stressed to be blessed." Oh, wait, you got that backwards, Tony. It's you're too blessed to be stressed, dude. Come on. What are you stressed about? Come on, I'm too stressed. No. Slow down for just a second. What's happening this moment is a blessing. And yes, the blessings are coming fast and furious. Yes, the universe is pouring out more upon my plate than sometimes I think I can handle. And yes, I want to extend and give away all that I am experiencing in like now, to the whole world. I don't want anyone to have to go through all of that growth experience that we talked about. But that's your experience, so you have to go through the growth that you have to go through. And you are learning to introduce higher dimensions of consciousness into your awareness. So education is not the learning of facts, but it's the training of your mind to think. And when I say think, I want to go back to higher dimensions of consciousness. To really think about things is to allow your superconsciousness to filter down into your subconscious, so that when you are in your conscious mind, you are guided by spirit. You always know what to do, what to say, where to go, who to say it to, what to do. You always know something inside you. Divine intuition. Somebody here wrote a book, Lynn, is that her name? Lynn Robinson. She wrote a book called Divine Intuition. It's amazing. And she's right here in our congregation. And divine intuition, to me, is allowing those higher dimensions of consciousness to filter down solidly into my subconscious. And how we do it in unity is through affirmations. And that's what we've been practicing. That's why our prayer training was amazing. It was really a beautiful thing to do. We got together 2 Saturdays. We'll do it again in case any of you guys want to do it with us. And we practiced affirmative prayer. And we get some new prayer chaplains out of it, I think. I'm hoping. But we have a real good opportunity in unity to practice something called the law of mind action. The law of mind action states that thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. It's a nice rhyme, so we can remember that. But it really means a lot more than that. I mean, on the surface, it means something like this. Your mind is a garden. Your thoughts are the seeds. Right? Say it together. You can grow flowers, or you can grow weeds. If you don't tend to your garden, the weeds are going to grow, my friends. If you're watching the TV, if you're following along with all those things going on out there, you're going to be growing weeds in your mind. If you're planting flowers of love and understanding right where you are, that's what's going to grow in your mind. So that's a simplistic way of looking at it. I want to look at it from the 3 phases of mind. I mentioned just a minute ago the superconscious mind. When we start with the conscious mind, is what we're aware of, our thoughts and feelings that we have right here, right now. Oh, I see Jack and Ori. It makes me happy. I like these guys. They play great music. They let me play the harmonica with them. He doesn't yell at me too much, even though I'm his boss. Oh. Actually, God's your boss. So you got bigger troubles than you thought. You have to answer to a higher authority. I love it. But if God is love, we got nothing to worry about. The conscious mind is what I'm thinking and feeling right here and right now. I kind of feel good when I'm laughing and joking with people, so that's why I do that. It gets a vibration going that I like. But that's all surface. That's the conscious mind. The subconscious, which is driving the conscious mind, is the memory of all your experiences, your thoughts, your ideas, all of the things that you've learned, all the things that you store in your mind for use later on. So how do I know that there's a button over here on this that turns this microphone on? It was in my memory. How do I know that it works better if I point it toward this way? Right? How do I know these things? How do I know what key harmonica to play? It's in my memory that this particular song is in this key, or we sing this, all that's in your memory. It's stored in your subconscious. You bring it out into your conscious mind when it's needed. You can't go around playing all those 5,000 songs that you know simultaneously. You play the one that is right for the situation, the one that you picked for that particular situation. Now, probably Jack has more than 5,000 songs in his memory, in his subconscious. And he knows the chords on the guitar, and he knows the leads, and he knows the words, and they know the harmonies, and they know how to sing that song, and they know their particular audience. Where is all that stuff? Stored in your subconscious mind. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful place, as long as you don't store up a lot of negativity. And we do. We store it up because somehow we don't want to deal with it in our conscious environment. So we send all those negative experiences back to the subconscious. And what happens sometimes is you might yell at somebody you really love. You might react in a way that doesn't bring you the peace of mind that you really want. You may get fearful, Tony. You said, what's fear? You may get fearful because you're reacting to an experience from your past and not to what's happening now. And what you want to do is react to the now. Be present. When I'm here and now with you, I'm seeing the Christ in you, that light in you. Last week we were introduced to the light in us. Remember, Lisa Natoli came here, and she said, I want to introduce you to the light in you. And you're going to take that light, and you're going to shine that into the situation before you, no matter what the situation is, rather than grabbing thoughts from your past and throwing those out into the future, rather than grabbing your fears and saying, oh, this might happen, and that might happen, and they're not going to like me, and all those kind of thoughts. And what happened last year was he yelled at me, and and blah, blah, blah. And you take those ideas and you throw them into the future. And no wonder you keep repeating the same things over and over again. No wonder the healing doesn't take place, because you're projecting the past into the future. And that happens from your subconscious mind. So when Lisa Natoli was here, what she said was get in touch with the light. The light is actually your superconscious mind. It's the divine mind. It knows all things, and it's always harmonizing. It's always healing. It's always divine order in superconscious mind. It's your mind that's connected with God. It is your part of your mind that is God. God mind. God mind doesn't think in terms of perception, in terms of up and down and right and left, good and bad, hot and cold. It doesn't have those kind of perceptions. Superconscious mind, divine mind, is just one extension of light and love, constantly harmonizing, bringing you exactly what you need each and every moment, loving you each and every moment, pushing you forward into the light each and every moment. And so that's what we were called to do, is take that energy of superconscious mind and send it forth. And what happens is that the subconscious mind is what Lao Tzu was asking us to do. It becomes aware of higher states of consciousness. And those higher states of consciousness, what did he say? Must be brought into awareness. As they are brought into awareness, they are stored there in your mind, just like those 5,000 songs. And you know exactly which song to play in any moment. You know exactly what to say in each moment, because you've stored up the vibration from divine mind. You've told yourself that now is the time I'm going to accept my divinity. And so anytime you're in a situation, you can call on that truth within you. And that truth can be represented in any number of ways. But the good thing is that you are in absolute control of your own mind. The law of mind action. Thoughts held in mind produce after they're exactly. Thank you, Patricia. All right. So, if you correct your mind, the rest of your life will fall into place. It reminds them of a song. Yeah, okay. But isn't that great? That's all I really have to do. That's really all I can do, and I can't really do anything else except focus on my own mind. But everything else will fall into place. When things are falling apart, they might just be falling into place. Now, here's something I want you to think about. A lot of you have been searching for happiness, and you're looking all over the place, in so many different places, in so many ways. And you come up to somebody who's happy and you say, "Where did you find that?" "I've been looking for it everywhere." And you might say to them, "I created it myself." Because that's the truth of the matter. So if you think that job is your happiness, if you think that relationship, if you think that house, that car, that bank account, that, whatever it might be, the state of the government, if you think this changing world is going to contain your happiness, you're going to be searching for it everywhere where it is not. And you know that you always can create it yourself. You create it through the law of mind action. You correct your mind, everything in life takes care of itself because you are doing it. It's not really a miracle that's all mysterious and spooky. That kind of miracle where you don't know how it happened. You know how it happens. You're in conscious contact with God, the source of your divine good. All your good. Everything comes from God. We've mistaken where our happiness and our good is coming from, haven't we? We've thought, it's going to come from this situation or from that situation. Why do we get fearful, my friend? Because those situations change. And we say, if this is changing, I'm not going to be happy anymore. I'm going to lose my peace. Well, you've placed your happiness and your peace in the wrong bank account. Place it in God and take that faith and that knowledge of God and place it in your own mind. Place the awareness of higher dimensions of consciousness into your own awareness, into your subconscious. Prayer does that. It trains your mind so that it's like, it takes me a long time to learn a new song. I have to go home and play it over and over and over again. But once I have it, I just forget about it. I don't have to think about it until I need to do it. But at first, it takes me a really long time. And so I sing it to myself. I play it over and over. I have to practice the chords. It feels a little weird. Same thing with affirmative prayer. It might feel a little strange at first to keep affirming the truth. But I'm telling you, from experience, it absolutely works. And I know that all your good is here now, available for you. If we just can let go of all the thoughts that are blocking the awareness of it, we will know that it is right in front of us, that it is ours already, that the universe has been given us by the fact that we are created within the loving mind of God. So every scenario, I'm going to give you a little story. You can take any scenario that you have, and you can play out the same story. There's two people walking on the beach in Cape Cod, and it's a kind of a drizzly, rainy, foggy morning. And one person is walking along thinking, "This feels really good. I like the wind on my face. The rain is washing me clear. Maybe those negative ions are helping out my vibration." That's what Patricia would say. Those are good negative ions. I don't care what it is. It feels good. I'm walking on the beach. I'm having fun, right? And it's a mystical morning. I love the fog. It's gorgeous out. And the person walking next to him is thinking, it's kind of cold. And it's a little rainy out, and I'm getting wet. And I don't like to get wet. And all these ideas start coming up about why it's not a good day. And so that person starts walking with its head hanging down. And the only difference between these two people is their way of thinking. Thank you. Who was that? I heard you, Al. What's your name?
Must be the truth. I'm David.
David, I heard you, David. I can spot the truth a mile away. Must have been your thinking. Must have been your attitude. It must have been what you wanted to see in that day. It didn't have anything to do with what was going on out there. The environment was exactly the same for those two people. It was their way of looking at it. It was the thoughts held in mind that were producing the day they were having. So I want you to have a great day. I want you to have a great life, in fact. I want you to have an amazing life. I want you to show people that this works. Then what are you doing? I'm going to Unity on Cape Cod. I'm practicing the principles of mind action. Charles Fillmore said this: prayer is the most highly accelerated mind action known to man. But I want you to pray in an affirmative style. Affirm the good in your life. Affirm it even if you don't see it or experience it right now, and you will see it and experience it in the next moment. Because you're affirming the truth. Right, David? If it's true, it's always true. And it could only be, and if you affirm the truth, that's what it's going to be for you. So have an amazing day. Have an amazing life. I love you so much. God bless you.
You have been watching the message from our Sunday celebration service here at Unity on Cape Cod, providing a positive path for spiritual living. Please join us every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. at 147 Walton Ave, Hyannis, Mass. And visit us online at www.unityoncapecod.org.